One of the great things about pessimism is that it doesn't compel you to do anything. If anything, it compels you not to do anything, or at least anything much, since pessimists would agree that any action towards any favourable outcome would have little chance of success. But of course, that doesn't stop anyone from trying things that they feel they at least have to do. It's just that if they don't work out, the pessimist is at least not surprised, either by the negative outcome or the subsequent disappointment. You don't have to be any one kind of pessimist. You can be pessimistic about the world, life, society, yourself, other people, the future, the past, the present, support, religion, science, politics. All of these things, none of these things, whatever. The overall view of existential pessimism is that everything is negative. But it's not like in practice you can't pick and choose. For example, I think alcohol's pretty good. Pessimism isn't an ideology. It isn't anything much really other than an attitude towards things. Certainly a lot's been written about pessimism over the years, but usually the best stuff isn't so much analytical philosophy as more poetic prose. In that, pessimism could almost be argued to be a school of aesthetics, but certainly not an ideology, not a set-in-stone set of rules. So there are no rules to follow and no do's and don'ts. I don't even think it matters much if you're a pessimist and at the same time engaged in hopeful activity, because really what the hell does it matter? Pessimism doesn't need slogans or symbols or t-shirts or things like that. I'm sure there are people who have made things like that up for pessimism, and they can be fun, but they don't matter if you don't care. A snappy statement is all well and good, but ultimately doesn't make up for life. Incidentally, pessimists are supposed to like a good aphorism, but I don't often think they're that great. They're kind of like the intellectual version of the snappy statement. Still, good writing is good writing no matter what the structure. Adorno seems pretty adept at aphorisms, at least as keen as Nietzsche's, and of course Sharon was a master of the form. Other pessimists seem more like they're just trying. It's like how some people think 3 simple lines makes a haiku. It doesn't work like that. Being a pessimist doesn't automatically make you witty. Pessimism isn't some kind of feet-first prison gang, so if you do decide you're not a pessimist anymore, then fine, whatever, that's probably a good thing really. I know I prefer people to be happy and hopeful about their lives and about things, even if I'm not. Why would I, or any other pessimist, want to drag other people into our own little misery pits? Sharon said in an interview that he stopped writing his books because his depression lifted. It's true that he went on to get dementia, but at least he was feeling better for a little while. Most importantly, pessimism isn't a moral imperative. Just because you see that there is injustice doesn't mean that you have any obligation to fix it. And certainly going around telling everyone that everything shit is about as futile as it gets, which is really to its advantage as an activity, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So there's no obligation to go around talking about pessimism and spreading it like a religion or a virus. What you choose to tell other people is entirely up to you. Pessimists know that there is no point in trying to save the world, make it a better place and all the rest of it. We can respect and admire people who do, but as a whole we would rather not bother ourselves. That of course doesn't exclude any pessimist from doing anything nice and beneficial for others, but that's down to personal choice, not some creed that we have to have. I've got no problem giving money to beggars because although I know they benefit more from systematic change, both the beggars and I know that's never going to happen. Pessimism is not exactly apathy per se, but pessimists know that you can't win, so for the most part we don't try. Sometimes we do, but usually we're proven right. The good thing about being a pessimist is that you're often right. The bad thing about being a pessimist is that you're often right. That's my little witty.